Hey guys, Claire here, and today I'm going to talk about one of the most important items in your kitchen, your pots and pans. And if you are like me and in your 20s, you probably have a lot of ones that you've inherited from your mom, so they're sort of beat up and questionable looking. So I'm going to sort of run through what I have, so that's probably why they look a bit used, just because these are the ones that I use every single day. And I'm just going to explain what they're made of and why they're made of that and sort of what the utility behind it is. So first one is one I think almost everyone has, and that is a nonstick pan. So nonstick is, controversial is probably an overstatement, but basically what a nonstick pan is it's usually an aluminum base, so it's nice and light, or possibly stainless steel, but usually aluminum, and then it gets sprayed with a Teflon coating. And Teflon is a chemical that basically reacts with the food so that it doesn't stick to the surface, hence the non-stick. So typically with other pans, you have to have fat in there in order for it not to stick, but with non-stick, that is not the case. So the thing to know about non-stick pans is you have to be really careful with what you use with them. So for instance, this is not a pan that you use a whisk with. This is not a pan that you use a metal spoon with. Metal spoon is harder than the actual Teflon coating, so it's gonna scratch it up and then you end up with the Teflon mixed into the food, which is not a good situation. However, what I do really like nonstick pans for are omelets and eggs, because sometimes I don't want to use a lot of fat, and the nonstick basically means that the protein in the egg white, which is super sticky, doesn't stick to the pan as much. So I actually do like using these for breakfast. The next pan is probably one of my favorite pans in my entire kitchen, and this is the OG nonstick pan. This is a cast iron pan. Whew, it is heavy. And the thing about cast iron is it seems a little fussy on the front end because you do have to season it. Seasoning it means that you basically have to put oil or fat into it, let it soak in. So usually you just pop it in the oven at a really low temperature for like an hour or two. But once you season it, you can see it stays sort of non-stick in texture. So I'm obsessed with it. The trick with the cast iron is do not wash it with soap. Just don't do it. It's gonna end up rusting and you're gonna have to re-season it, and that is a pain. But you just use water and you just, brush it off really thoroughly and then just keep all of that awesome shiny goodness. But what I love about cast iron is the heft means that it really conducts heat well. So it's super thick, it's super heavy, so it's not gonna burn your food, you're not gonna get weird hot spots, it actually distributes the heat super well. And it's also non-stick because you've seasoned it properly. So I love it, plus it's usually pretty inexpensive. So this is sort of a classic stainless steel. I feel like everyone has a version of this at their house. So the thing about stainless steel is it's lighter than a cast iron, and it also is more aesthetically pleasing. Typically it's like pretty and shiny. I would say stainless steel is probably really good for things that you're going to be monitoring the heat on pretty closely. So for instance, if you're sauteing something and it's a quick cooking process, you don't have to worry about it too much, this is really good. For something that you maybe need to like brown slowly, I would say use something a little bit heavier because it's gonna conduct the heat better. This one is a bit of a hybrid. So this is stainless steel, but it also has a copper lining to it. And copper pans are very expensive because copper is expensive. And the thing with copper pans is you don't actually ever see copper on the inside. And there's a reason for that. When copper interacts with food, especially dairy, it actually is poisonous, so you don't want to have copper interacting with the food directly. So that's why they are always lined with stainless steel. So the copper on the bottom, however, copper is considered one of the absolute best metals in terms of conducting heat. It is light as well, so you don't have to deal with the heaviness of a cast iron. And additionally, it's aesthetically pleasing, but also it's really durable. So if you take care of your copper pans, they will definitely take care of you. So highly, highly recommend. And then this is one of my favorites. I probably like cuddle with it at night because it's just so good. And that is my Le Creuset French enamel. So Le Creuset isn't the only French enamel company, but it's probably one of the most popular. And yes, it is expensive. However, they have a lifetime warranty, which is just like, what? Like, that's amazing. And you can see that it is cast iron and then it has enamel on top. The cool thing about the enamel is the enamel makes the cast iron super durable. It also kind of ends up not having a non-stick quality to it. However, it just distributes the heat absolutely perfectly. So if you are braising something, if you are slow cooking something, if you really need to have that heat be regulated, this is a fantastic pot or pan to use. It's really awesome. The other cool thing is that this is probably the best pot to make gravy in or any sauce. And the reason why is because it's non-stick, you actually get these amazing brown bits that stick to the bottom. So when you deglaze the pan with a little bit of wine or water, basically any liquid, it lifts up all of those delicious brown bits and makes an amazing sauce. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning about the pots and pans I have in my kitchen. And please, if you want to hear about any sort of kitchen tips, any ideas about pantry items or items in the kitchen, please put them in the comments below. I always love hearing your guys' thoughts and feelings, and I'm in constant need of inspiration for these videos, so I'm looking forward to seeing the comments. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.